What's up, guys? We're back with another SH Figuarts Dragon Ball review, taking a look at the most recent entry in the GT series. We're taking a look at the one I've really been waiting for. We're taking a look at Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Now, I never actually reviewed Goku because I got him so late. I just never got around to it. But he was one of my favorite figures when I got him, and I've really been looking forward to Vegeta for basically all the same reasons. I love the GT designs, and it's just really cool that we're going into this series. Now, he comes in standard SH Figuarts Dragon Ball style packaging, so you got the figure in the window, you've got a really big product shot of him on the front, you've got a window on one side, you've got some shots on the other, and then the back of the box showcases some of the stuff he comes with, as well as how he can move. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our SH Figuarts Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, a figure that I have been looking forward to for a very long time. Something that we knew that this guy was coming. As soon as we saw Goku, we knew they have to do Vegeta, of course. And then when Goku sold like crazy, it was even more obvious that we were going to start going down this path. And I've really been hopeful to see more of the GT stuff. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I really like the designs. The stories are here and there, hit or miss, but the designs are cool, and I love the furry nature of the Super Saiyan 4 look. So let's get started, see what this guy can do, see how he moves around. Now, of course, he is, on a newer style body. Of course, Goku introduced a new era of Figuarts in many ways. He is pretty similar, but he has more limitations in some areas, and then he's better in some areas, so it's kind of a mixed bag. I did really like Goku. Vegeta is still pretty similar. So you've got a head that is unfortunately kind of locked down. It's more locked down than Goku's is. He can look straight ahead really well, and he can look down. The neck does articulate. You do have moving hair. It's segmented back here, so you've got moving pieces. The little, I don't know what you want to call these pieces, they move as well. I feel like it's better articulated than it will seem at first glance. Like, once you start playing around with it, you'll think, he's really locked down. And while he is, don't get me wrong, the more you fiddle with it, for lack of a better term, the easier it becomes to move him around. It's still not perfect, and I wish his hair got up out of the way a little better, especially for looking up, because he really just can't do it. He does have full rotation, but it is going to still get in the way a little bit. You've got some tilt, little bobble. Arms out at the shoulders. They're going to rotate, of course. We've got a butterfly joint. It's okay. It's not the greatest. It's not terrible, but it doesn't do a whole lot. It's okay. Got a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, of course. So normal stuff there. We've got our ball hinges for the wrists, so rotation in and out in any direction. The torso is pretty nicely articulated. He's got some good range. He kicks backward pretty well. Really nice forward, though. You have to kind of use both the waist and the diaphragm cut together to make it work. The diaphragm cut does afford some rotation, too. You've got tilt side to side, and then you've also got rotation and tilt at the waist. So it's kind of a two-stage thing. Use both in conjunction, and he's going to move a lot further. We've got a tail back here. It is exactly like Goku's is, so rotates, and then it's a ball hinge. So in and out, up and down, whatever direction. It's in this permanent S shape, or Z, I suppose, depending on which side you're looking at. The legs go out about that far. Pretty much the splits, but not exactly. Kick forward about that far, kicks backward a good bit. You've got your thigh cut there. We've got double jointed knees, they go back that far. And then at the ankles, we've got actually a pretty good rocker. And that's one area that Figuarts, Dragon Ball Figuarts have always kind of suffered in, is the ankle area. They're getting better, still not perfect, but I think Vegeta's is a little bit better than Goku's, especially when you hinge him out. Like, that's a pretty solid rocker for a Figuarts. And then you've got, shimmy down there also. So he's pretty well articulated. It's not perfect, some things. It's mostly the head for me that is leaving me wanting. It's good. It's good, it's not great. The rest of it is pretty standard Figuarts fare when it comes to what we have expected to get after getting Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I do think he's got really nice torso range, and I really like what little improvements there have been made down at those ankles. The aesthetics are where it's at for me with this figure, though. I know Figuarts is really built on a wide range of articulation, dynamic posing, but they have to nail the look for this version, or it's all for nothing. If you can't get the look right when it comes to these very unique designs, what's really the point? And I think for the most part they've got it. There's one area that I wish they had done a little bit more on, but for the most part, I think they've got it. So we've got obviously a new sculpt here for the torso. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff on this body. He has the furry texture for the arms and the torso. I really wish there was some shading on this fur. It would have just helped quite a bit. You have fully painted, I guess flesh. So the pecs, the abs, and then the area around the butterfly is fully painted, and it's pretty clean for the most part. The one thing that's going to maybe stick out at you because of that fact is that while the torso is painted, the face is not. So it's pretty close, but they're not the same color. And that's a thing. It's a thing that happens with a lot of figures. I'm not exactly a big fan of it. I can deal with it, but it is definitely a negative when it comes to just this color not matching. And of course, I do wish that there was some shading on there. We do get a lot of shading on his pants. So he's got the sort of, he's got this like the jeans basically, and you've got that sort of dark navy blue. It's darker than navy blue, and then you've got this sort of light blue overspray on top of it, which does look really good. I'm really happy with the pants. However, the one area of the aesthetics that I really don't like is whatever they decided to do here with this thigh cut. It is just the weirdest looking thing. It looks like he's got, like, I don't know, like you're going to go fishing or something, and you've got like those like waiter pants on. They just come up right up to your junk, and then he's just sort of standing there. They're okay, and like, once I mess around with them, I definitely sort of not notice them anymore. But when you think about it, they're just weird. They don't look right, and it makes his profile look off a little bit. I think the boots are nicely done. The gloves look good. The paint on the boots is really well done. The tail looks nice. It's appropriately sized. You've got the little hole coming out of the pants, so they're torn back there. I do like that. So there's a few things that I'm not the biggest fan of, but I think overall, I mean, they do sell the idea that this looks like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta really well, but I would have done with more shading on the torso, and then of course this cut on the leg, it's just a weird cut. There's not any way around it. It's an odd cut. The face, I think for the most part, is really, really well done. Again, there is the issue with the plastic not matching the paint, but the actual face itself is extremely well painted. I think the facial features, the eyebrows, the mouth, the eyes, all of that stuff, super clean, super crisp. Really happy with that. The hair looks great. The hair line around the head is a little rough, but for the most part, like when I'm back here, I don't really notice it. And the hair looks good. It's not black. It's that sort of like really, really dark chocolatey brown, sort of leaning into black. It's not, jet black. But I think the head looks good. The expression is nice because, this is not a happy Saiyan when he's in this form. So he's got a little bit of a stern expression. It's a very Vegeta face. And of course, that makes perfect sense. But it's also nice to see the face paint executed really, really well. He is also a really short figure too, and I'll do some quick size comparisons here in a minute. He's definitely short. He's Vegeta. He should be shorter. I think they got a lot of that right. So there's a lot of this figure that I think is really well done. The sculpt on the fur looks good. The torso paint looks really good. The pants shading looks good. The belt, the boots look really good. The face looks great. The hair is nicely sculpted and big, but there are a few things that are kind of holding it back. A lack of shading on the body, and again, that weird cut. And then for our size comparisons, we've got Vegeta in the middle. Of course, we've got our Super Saiyan 4 Goku on the right, and we've got the Dragon Ball superhero Piccolo here on the left, just because he was handy. And I think the Goku is the best comparison because, of course, they go together. Vegeta looks a little tall by comparison, but that's all hair. There's over an inch of hair there. So when you just take into consideration just the headline, the hairline, basically, Goku is about a head taller. So I think the sizing looks good. And of course, Goku is a little bit bulkier as well. And let's do a couple other lines just because why not? Here is a Mythic Legion. There's one of the deluxe Legion builders. Now let's move Goku aside, and here's something way out of scale. Here's the Super 7 Ultimates Optimus Prime. He is obviously much taller. And then let's do one more Build-A-Figure. Let's put him back there. There he is with the controller from Marvel Legends to give you an idea of just how small he is. He's not a super, super tiny figure by any means, but he's also not big. And I think he scales really nicely with Goku in particular, and that's really where I start and stop with it. He's going to scale really nicely with Goku, and they're going to look really nice as a pair. Now, as far as accessories goes, Vegeta is very much in line with Goku. They kind of come with the same things for the most part. So, to begin with, Vegeta gets 5 extra sets, that's 10 hands on top of the fists that he comes with. So he gets a sort of two-finger pose, we get the flat palm, we get the splayed finger, we get the gripping charging style hands, and then we get, which I really like, the gripping charging style hands that have the post in it for effect parts. We get 3 extra face plates as well, so he comes with a sort of stern look on him in the box. We get a screaming head, we get a gritting of the teeth head, and we get a smirking head, all of which great paint, really clean, really crisp, very happy with that. And again, I really, really like the fact that they've started to include this stuff for figures that have energy effects that they hold, just because it makes my life a lot easier to have to not worry about that. And he does come with an energy effect. And this is the one area where I feel like they kind of cheaped out on him a little bit, because all he comes with is this little rinky-dink ball, basically. It's frosted on the top, it's blue-green, and then it's got this little frosting bit on the top. It's really small, especially in comparison to the full-on Kamehameha effect that Goku came with. I really wish they would have given him something a little bit more signature than this, especially just because, you know, more effects is always something I'm rooting for in this line. This is okay. It's certainly better than nothing, don't get me wrong, but I kind of wish it was just something a little bit more exciting for our second Super Saiyan 4. But otherwise, he does come with a pretty solid array of accessories, really good faces, really good hands. So overall, really happy with this figure, but of course he does have a few drawbacks. You know, he's not perfect, but I think for the most part, this is a really solid entry in our GT line. He does have really nice articulation. I think he moves really well. He could stand to look up a little bit better. I think most of my hang-ups are going to be in the visual aspect of this figure. I wish there was some shading on the fur, and I just don't really like that thigh cut. I think it's goofy looking. It makes his profile look a little off. Like he has these really thick tree trunk legs, but then this tiny crotch for some reason. And then he has a really solid array of accessories. I do really like all those faces. I love the hands we're getting. I love the fact that we're getting these hands with the posts in it for the energy effects. Even though his energy effect is this little rinky-dink ball, it's like this. I think it's probably the smallest energy effect we've gotten in the line that I can think of off the top of my head. But I'm happy to get something rather than nothing, because I do harp about not getting effects quite a bit. So that's going to do it for this look at the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.